Pokémon Horizons just delivered an all-out war between the Ryzen Volt Tacklers and the 6 heroes, ending in a crazy bombshell twist that tricked the entire world. There is so much to talk about in my review for episode 125, so let's not dilly-dally, let's just dive right into it. So the episode began with the explorers infecting the 6 heroes with Laqueum, and our heroes respond by sending out all of their Pokemon, including Amethio's 50% form Zygarde. As I'm sure you can imagine, with the episode jumping back and forth between 5 different one-on-one battles, this episode will be quite hard to review, so I'm going to talk about each battle one at a time instead. First up, Liko vs Cleor. And I'm not gonna lie, this one started rough for Liko. Cleor was basically bullying her team the entire time. Stoneaxe just steamrolled Meowscarada over and over, all of Liko's combos got countered, and Hatterene was stuck playing full-time support with Confusion and Heal Pulse just to keep him alive. Cleor then double smacked them both with X-Scissor, and they're on the ground basically defeated. But then Hatterene pulled the most selfless play ever with Healing Wish, straight up sacrificing herself to fully heal Meowscarada. And that's a bold choice considering Liko hasn't landed a single attack on Cleor so far. But anyway, Liko terastallizes Meowscarada, and then uses acrobatics to bounce around Cleor, wrapping it up with invisible stems. And then while Cleor's restrained, she lands a huge magical leaf to defeat it. Okay, I've got to be totally honest here, this was a fun battle, but it's kinda nonsensical to me that a Laqueum empowered 6 hero would be one-shotted by a neutral move. Cleor went down way too easily. Next up, Roy vs Moltres. Moltres' fiery wrath is so oppressive early on in the battle, stopping all of Roy's attempts, but when Kilowattrel acts as bait, making Moltres chase it and boosting its wind power ability too, this allows Skeledirge to hit Flamethrower on Moltres and then bite its foot to hold it in place. And then dude, Roy finally terastallizes Kilowattrel. It's about time, and Kilowattrel turns all of that charged up power into a brand new move, Supercell Slam. Roy and Skeledirge begin singing, using Torch Song to give Kilowattrel's Supercell Slam a fire armor. That feels like a clear nod to Ashy Boy's legendary Thunder Armor. I'm just saying, it made me laugh a lot. And then Kilowattrel uses all of that energy to smash into Moltres, knocking it to the ground. My boy! Kilowattrel has now defeated Moltres twice in 15 episodes. Never bet against the big bird, I'm telling ya. He's taken Moltres' place as the new legendary bird. Okay, so I thought this showdown was so peak, man. I mean, obviously I'm always biased towards Kilowattrel's W's in general. He's like my favourite Pokemon in this series. But even outside of that bias, I really liked the battle. Kilowattrel literally wore Moltres out, and then he got boosted by both terastallizing and his wind power ability, and the fire armor too. And all of that combined with a new super effective powerful move, Supercell Slam, that's the kind of finisher that feels strong enough to defeat a 6 hero, you know? Meanwhile, Ult vs Gouging Fire. They're clashing moves and Dragonite's dodging moves, but then Dragonite is hit really hard and by surprise by Gouging Fire's ancient power. Gouging Fire never had that move before, but I really like the concept of the Strong Spheres activating Gouging Fire's ancient primordial powers, since it's a past Paradox Pokemon. That's so interesting to me. Similar vibes to when Ash's Dracovish activated its own primordial powers versus Leon, and it catches Ult off guard, leading to Dragonite being hit over and over and over by different moves. But now for my favourite gag of the battle. Ult pulls out his Pokedex to scan Gouging Fire, proud of himself for remembering what Lacey said about scanning Pokemon-y battles to get an advantage. But of course, no data found. Bruh, the one time Ult actually listens. And of course it's for the one Pokemon that doesn't exist on any databases. A Paradox Pokemon. That's comedy gold, dude. So Ult is mad and Mega Evolves his Dragonite, and he uses Twister to absorb ancient power, before smashing it into Gouging Fire, knocking the big guy down. It was really smart for Ult to combine 2 super effective moves and to use Gouging Fire's own attack against it to get the win, but I still can't help but feel like Dragonite had a little bit of plot armor at play to survive that many super effective hits from a Laqueum-powered legendary Pokemon, compared to Gouging Fire, who went down very easily. Now Dot vs Arboliva. So Quaxwell very quickly dodges and then lands an Air Cutter, and then he lands a Low Kick too. And oh boy, that's gotta hurt Arboliva. After all, Low Kick does more damage the heavier an opponent is. And have a look how gargantuan that Arboliva is. She is definitely going down, and I'm yelling timber, bro. But Arboliva retaliates with what looks like a powerful Seed Bomb. That hits Dot's Pokemon real hard. But luckily Goldengo jumps in and becomes an absolute menace with Astonish, jump scaring it, and then he surfs all around Arboliva, drawing its attention and distracting it, and that gives Tinkaton the one thing you never want to give Tinkaton: the time to charge up Gigaton Hammer. Gholdengo then uses Make It Rain to hold the Titan in place, while Tinkaton unleashes all of that charged up power hard, smashing Arboliva down into the ground. Dot dominated this one, man, and to be honest, that really doesn't shock me at all. Arboliva has always felt like the least powerful 6 hero, being more of a support role, you know? And Dot is a great battler who had all 3 Pokemon to use. So yeah, overall I loved this showdown. Finally, Amethio versus Lapras. Zygarde gets frozen to the ground, and that's genius from Lapras, using an Ice-type attack against a Dragon Ground type. But hey, he can still fire Core Enforcer even when he can't move. But Lapras just completely counters it with Ice Beam like it's nothing, which is actually absurd the more I think about it. Are Strong Spheres really so OP that they can counter one of the strongest Pokemon ever's strongest move ever? I guess so. Bro, clearly Lysander just needed a pink crystal to save his life when Grim Reaper, Bonnie and Squishy came for him. Anyway, Zygarde is hit again by Ice Beam, but he uses the explosion to disintegrate into his 10% form, essentially teleporting behind Lapras, and then hitting it unawares with Core Enforcer to knock it down. Nothing personal, kid. This was a really cool way to showcase Zygarde's self-formation attribute, dude. I love how it basically vanished and then reformed behind Lapras. And although Lapras did go down in one hit as well, at least it was from a Zygarde, dude. That's pretty justified. So yeah, the walls around our heroes shatter, revealing they all won their battles, and then as Pogogo begins absorbing the Luckwium from the 6 heroes, Spinel angrily demands the explorers to use the super strong spheres on them again. And interestingly, Coral and Sidian actually hesitate, clearly unsure if the 6 heroes can handle that. That's really intriguing because it feels like the writers are trying to set them up doubting Spinel again, just like some of us theorized they were doing before the time skip. But to be honest, that just confuses me, dude, because post-time skip made it super clear that that possible plot thread was abandoned. The writers literally messed up Coral and Sidian's characters by turning them into one-note villains with no morals at all back in episode 95. But now it seems we're doing the whole they could be redeemed thing all over again? I'm confused. I'm not really sure what the writers are cooking here, but it feels a little messy and short-sighted. Anyway, in a super twisted scene, the super strong spheres infect the 6 heroes again, this time corrupting them so much that it even overpowers their 100-year bonds and makes them attack each other. That's disgusting, man. Spinel needs to be unalived immediately. Our heroes are losing hope. But then luckily Zygarde leaps into action, combining its power with Pogogo to form a huge barrier around them all, just like they did all that time ago. They show the 6 heroes all of their memories, with Lucius and our heroes to help them break free and remember who they are. Hey, 6 heroes, remember when these random kids hunted you all down and beat the hell out of you? I'm just kidding, obviously. And I'm not gonna lie, I know Zygarde's target was the 6 heroes, but these trips down memory lane were super effective on me too. I really do miss pre-time skip Horizons so much, man. Seeing all these flashes of those episodes is so bittersweet. Our heroes give a speech to the 6 heroes about remembering who they are, and that combined with the memories begins to free the 6 heroes, allowing Pogogo to absorb all of that Larkwium in its stellar form. Plus we get the terrestrial types of the 6 heroes revealed too. And I have to admit, Gouging Fire being a rock terror type, that feels like the biggest plot convenience of all time. Like the writers were thinking, wait, we have no Pokemon to cover the rock type. Choose Gouging Fire, quick! But I will let it slide, because they did kind of tease it in today's episode with Gouging Fire learning Ancient Power. So our heroes begin yelling at Spinel, saying they'll never lose to him and they'll stop the Larkwium, and Ult is raging. He straight up shouts and announces that he'll destroy everything at Larkwood to stop the Explorers. Now obviously we know that Ult means he'll destroy the Larkwium and the Explorers' operations at Larkwa, but Spinel? Oh brother, he smells an opportunity immediately. This man switches into full-on Oscar award-winning acting mode. He begins playing the victim, and he claims the 6 heroes were rescued by the Explorers a year ago at Larkwa after the Rise and Volt tacklers did all that damage. He says that him and the Explorers and Exceed have been protecting the 6 heroes, and now he's acting as if the Rise and Volt tacklers have violently broken in, attacking the 6 heroes again, and now they're kidnapping them. Dude, the gaslighting is crazy. Our heroes obviously ignore his nonsense and escape the base with the 6 heroes, but then Spinel reveals the real trap to his admins. He secretly recorded everything, and now he's gonna edit it, twist it, cut it out of context, and he's gonna use it to frame the Rise and Volt tacklers. Bigger than even before. That's why he was acting like the victim, dude, so he can use it against him in the video. And man, this is why Spinel is such a goated villain. The way he always finds ways to effortlessly outmaneuver and outsmart our heroes even when they win. He's a genius. He's so slithery, you know? Shortly later, our heroes bid farewell to the 6 heroes, and that really surprised me if I'm honest. I thought it would make way more sense for each of the 5 youngsters to catch one of the 5 heroes each, so then they're there ready to help and destroy the Larkweon with Pagogo. But nope, I guess the 6 heroes will just magically be summoned when our heroes need them instead. Either way, it put a smile on my face to finally see them free and happy again after being imprisoned for a whole year. They deserve this, you know? So our heroes officially set Larkweon as their final destination, and Amethio heads off on his own to try and unlock Zygarde's ultimate power, which we all know means complete form is coming, dude. While Liko, Roydot and Alt decide to head to the Naranjar Academy to stop the Strong Spheres. The episode then ended with Spinel broadcasting the edited footage all around the world. Bro, TVs worldwide are showing our heroes attacking the facility, attacking the 6 heroes, and then kidnapping the 6 heroes. All while Alt yells about destroying everything at Larkweon. And out of context, it looks so bad for our heroes, dude. Spinel has totally twisted the narrative again. This time he has proof that the Ryzen Voltaclers are evil, and the general public are obviously buying into it. And to make matters even worse, Spinel makes the most of the worldwide attention on Exceeder right now to announce that the Strong Spheres are about to be released officially to the public too. What an ending, man. I'm gonna be honest, the last time Spinel framed our heroes it was kind of a bit of a letdown. The effects of it barely even felt relevant in Mega Voltage, but I'm hoping this time the writers will genuinely commit to it and won't chicken out of it. I want our heroes to feel like fugitives on the run, the whole world against them. If the writers cop out again and return things to normal pretty much, I'm gonna be disappointed. Overall, this episode tried to squeeze 50 million things into a 20-minute runtime, and that could have been the recipe for disaster, but somehow it actually managed to do a pretty good job. Of course, it could have been better if it was split into 2 episodes and gave everything room to breathe, but they still made it work in one, which was a pleasant surprise. The stuff with Coral and Sidian intrigues me even if I think it might be too little too late. The Spinel deception was a great twist. He really tricked everyone, man, and the reactions in the community to that sequence were crazy. People were so shocked but also hyped. What a bombshell twist. Finally, in terms of the battles, I loved Roy vs Moltres and Dot vs Arboliva, and I thought Amethio vs Lapras was good too. Alt vs Gouging Fire felt a little weird but still enjoyable, but sadly Liko vs Cleor was a letdown for me. So let me know your thoughts on the episode below, and be sure to like and subscribe if you enjoyed my review, and thank you so much to all of my incredible channel members on screen right now. That includes Jay, Jascadia, Toten, Fizz, Not Mini, Shareborn, Hope, Finny, Shiny Charm. You guys are legends, thank you so much. And yeah, on that note, thank you all so much for watching, and best wishes until we meet again.